So AI events the past week have seen continued movement by the industry from AI as a coworker to AI being an operator. In fact, more than just the past week, this has been going on for the last several months as agentic AI becomes more and more popular and more well known among businesses. And for business strategists or business owners, this change is shifting the use of AI from simple prompt engineering and conversation to agentic architecture. So we're going to look at a little more detail how businesses can navigate these developments and what they can do to benefit, and in some cases, what they need to guard against. So a few days ago, there was the official launch of ChatGPT 5.4, and which is essentially moving full speed towards an agentic AI model. So unlike previous versions, 5.4 can now be used as a practical agent with native computer use capabilities. So in this way, it means it has the ability to operate software on your desktop or laptop on its own in its own step-by-step determination of how to achieve whatever end goal that is set by the user. So now businesses, for the first time, can take this opportunity to develop an AI native workflow. So up to now, automation and use of AI in automation has been about taking the existing workflow of a business and then adapting the AI to carry out that workflow. But if businesses then take this opportunity to rethink the workflow entirely from an AI native perspective, in other words, putting AI at the heart of the workflow, then this is a chance to basically from the ground up come up with an entirely new approach to carrying out tasks. So the staff then in this approach becomes orchestrators, and they don't simply, for example, they don't just simply write the social media post, but they supervise the AI content agent, the data analyst agent, and the creative agent, and the other agents to bring it all together to make sure that the AI systems are working in sync. For finance. Also, a lot of applications in this area. They say GPT 5.4 has reached about 87% accuracy in its investment modeling. And so there, we can look at this as now being the time to put it in use in areas such as automated credit spreading or historical analysis of tax returns and business planning. And for example, turning unstructured data into compliance reports is another capability of the system, among many others. So this is the chance for businesses to rethink these processes and operations, taking into account AI as the heart of the operation rather than just a tool for automating. And just to mention, this news came out also a couple days ago. The chief operations officer and the CEO of AGI have both stepped aside ahead of a potential Q4 2026 IPO by OpenAI, ChatGPT. So this just came after they announced the termination of Sora, which is its generative media tool, citing high operating costs that were going into keeping that active and no doubt an attempt to improve on its books ahead of the anticipated IPO. So there are a lot of changes at OpenAI and thus to ChatGPT and its future development direction that we're going to see in the coming months, and so we'll keep track of that. So just a few days ago, an AI agent powered by Claude successfully broke into an operating system. This is a FreeBSD operating system is the brand name, which is said to be one of the most secure operating system environments. And that was done in just 4 hours. So the FreeBSD situation showed how autonomous AI agents can now perform these complex actions, such as in this case, breaking into an operating system. And it shows us, well, in a way, security is no longer just a matter of patching up holes in the system. It's about ensuring identity and intent of the different APIs and interactions with the system. So, what should a business do in this case? I mean, that's just as a high level view. Some of the learning points that came out of this experience was that businesses need to make sure on the agent identity management and that for autonomous agents in the business, they must have a first class identity. So, with least privileged permissions, and to make sure that AI agents never directly execute a high risk action like a refund or a new code deployment without a human in the loop. So, a couple interesting lessons learned from that project, but for sure, these systems are getting increasingly complex, and therefore the infrastructure around that and the security has to also match this level of complexity. So more than just the AI intelligence that's causing potential risk, it's also physical infrastructure. As we saw last week in Iranian strike against Bahrain and Dubai, the incident against the Amazon Web Services server farm. So it gave us all a reminder that the cloud and AI intelligence still rely on physical data centers, which are themselves vulnerable to kinetic warfare or other physical kinds of threats. So, I mean, businesses can use cloud systems for flexibility, but on-premise hardware can better help to secure consistency for mission-critical systems. And this incident last week was a reminder of that. Also, to be sure that workflows and prompt maps can be ported from one agent to another in a short period of time to ensure that continued operations, in the event of a failure, can be brought back online in a short period of time. Couple quick news items. Google released Gemma 4 under an Apache 2.0 license, making it the most capable open source model to date, and effectively removing barriers to accelerate AI across industrial business applications. So reports have emerged that China's DeepSeek 4.0 is probably just weeks away and will run exclusively on Huawei chips. So more than just another AI update, this is a big step for China, indicating their level of AI and semiconductor self-sufficiency. And researchers at Tufts University announced a system that combines neural networks with human-like symbolic reasoning. Now, what's the significance here? This approach can cut energy use by 100 times while also improving accuracy in robotics and virtual language action models. And so, what's the significance of all this? Be ready for more robots to come into your house. And another point here on for EU companies, Microsoft has published its agent governance toolkit on GitHub. So providing a framework for managing autonomous agents with cryptographic identities and runtime isolation. All this mainly to comply with the EU AI Act. So for businesses, compliance time is running out. So, for a quick summary, as the title suggests, there are opportunities for business to really rethink their workflows and think about the capabilities that the agentic AI is bringing to the business, and recognizing these as an opportunity to transition employees from mere operators or task completers themselves to orchestrators of the AI's capabilities, and to use these to increase workflow, increase output, and enhance the overall capability, value adding capabilities of the business. And of course, there are risks that are associated. In fact, as AI systems become more complex, AI becomes its own threat in a way, looking at the system security credentials, making sure they're agent specific, time bound, that the API keys are rotated on a regular basis. And when it comes to service interruptions from either infrastructure failure or other large scale challenges, that businesses can set up their local AI capabilities for mission critical operations using a localized open source model. So, with that, a lot of things to consider, and exciting opportunity for AI and the future of business. With that, I wish you all well in your AI journey and all the best for the day ahead.